How you doing? As we're here to talk about television, teacher, mother, our secret lover. Today we have a special show as it is in fact our first episode of Debating the Dials, the show where a panel of experts and myself will talk about shows from the past, present, and future. With me here today, starting from our westernmost time, we like to welcome Damien Brewer here from Jelly Old London. How you doing here, late Damien?
You're right.
And how are you? I'm excited about today. How you? There's a lot of different things I've been throwing at you. What are you thinking about?
I'm massively excited. Obviously, it's the first time I've seen a Game of Thrones episode, and you've put me right in the deep end. And obviously, it's the first time doing this as well, so I'm quite excited and looking to see how we go.
That is right, viewers. Damien here has never seen an episode of Game of Thrones before I forced him to watch the last episode of season 6. That's right, 6 seasons in, the last season he just watched. He has had no knowledge at all beforehand, except probably some cursory stuff that we all know about the whole sex and dragons and violence. I'm sure Damien's heard all about that good stuff, and then apparently it did the episode live up to the hype.
For me, not necessarily, no, because it wasn't really an action-packed episode, and it didn't have the bits. I just wanted dragons.
I mean, there was that explosion at the beginning.
But yeah, apart from the explosion in the beginning, that was a shocker.
I mean, so many people died.
I swear they killed off like half the cast in 10 minutes.
That is exactly what me and Mike were talking about. And speaking of Mike, we'd like to welcome here our California boy. How's it going today, Mike?
Good. Really excited about this.
Exactly. And you have seen every episode of Game of Thrones, correct?
Yes.
All right. And have you read the books or just the show?
I read half the first book. Still haven't gotten through it.
No worries. That's more than half. That's half more than me, and that's probably a lot more than Damien.
Yeah, I'm not read a single bit.
So we got the noob's perspective. Mike, what do you think as someone coming in as Damien did? What do you think the season 6 finale as a coming in episode for someone like Damien and for pretty much anyone? What do you think?
As a coming in episode of the first episode, probably not the best episode to watch because it's a lot of concluding of the season. There's a lot of characters that are being killed off that you have no idea who they are. You have different timeline things happening where they may not realize it's a different timeline.
Oh yeah. Now that is there's one reason why I liked that particular episode as a great coming in episode is that it's like you're really throwing into a whole bunch of different stories. I think it hits on like 6 or 7 or 8 different stories, whereas some episodes are going to get like 2 or 3. Like the previous episode, episode 9, Battle of the Bastards, which I know a lot of you Game of Thrones fans love, that only hit on one story throughout the entire episode. So Damien, you could have gotten that, and some say that's one of the best episodes of the entire series. And did you really want to watch Some hail as one of the best episodes of the entire series? I mean, come on, you want that to be your finale.
Yeah, it does. Now that I've watched this, it does make me want to go back and watch it. As I like all the different themes and the characters, even though I didn't have a bloody clue what was going on and who was doing what. It was kind of cool. I was just kind of just sat there through certain things, and I was just like, oh my god, the kids just seasoned that guy. They just stabbed him to death. And that was obviously before the explosion. So,
and what have you heard about Game of Thrones before I forced you to watch that episode?
I've heard Jon Snow. That seems to come up a hell of a lot. Obviously, I know about the Sean Bean character, and obviously a lot of the themes of the series, and I've heard of the White Walkers. Just a lot of random little bits. It's never really like any kind of plot points, and I hear a lot about people getting killed in the Red Wedding.
Yeah. So it's pretty much all the because let's backtrack a little bit because how I found you were on the Facebook book the TV Talk for TV Collider fans. Is that what it's called?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, which is basically someone got together for the Collider TV Talk, and it's all a bunch of fans for that. So you are a big TV fan in and of itself.
Yeah, I most of the shows I watch are like comic book based. Arrow, Flash, Gotham, Preacher, which is another brilliant series on now. And then I watched a few on random shows, but it's mainly kind of superhero shows.
Awesome, great. And we will be talking about those comic shows in the future. So we'll have to keep you on our Rolodex here. And Mike, I know you from this movie thing we do, the Take-Two Production Worldwide Trivia now that they do, which used to be the Fan Movie Trivia Schmodown. So you're a big movie guy. Are you also a big TV guy, or is this kind of like a casual thing for you?
I'm not as big as I used to be. I still follow a couple shows like Ash vs. Evil Dead, Shameless, Supernatural, but it's not a concurrent thing with me year long.
Okay. I mean, hey, kudos on Supernatural. What are they in their 12th? Are you following along 12 seasons?
Yep.
Oh wow! I mean, like my brother watches Supernatural, and I'm like, I mean, more power to you. But let's get back on this Game of Thrones thing. Actually, Damien, you brought up something that you knew about Sean Bean's character. Question: did you know that he makes a cameo in this episode?
No, I didn't.
Yeah. So that's not Sean Bean, but the character actually is in the episode. I don't want to spoil that who he is, but he is.
I realized near the end of the scene that it was a flashback. I think it was a flashback where she was giving birth.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It took me a little while. I kind of went out of it.
We were wondering if you would realize that this is because theoretically it really doesn't send you into the scene with much context. And
Not at all.
It was when I kind of guessed when it come out when the camera panned out of Jon Snow's eyes.
Yeah, exactly. So he did pick up on it, Mike. Yeah.
Perfect.
So yeah, it's a great it's a great spoiler for you for the if you go back and watch the last 60, 70 episodes now, just been spoiled for you rotten.
I'm going to be cursing you most of the way through it.
It's all pointless now. You might as well just give up. But let's, Mike. What was one of your favorite parts of this episode here?
This past episode, I would have to say, it's something we've already brought up, but I do like that explosion scene of taking out. I wanted them. I did not want them to survive, and I'm glad they went out the way they did.
Yeah, all the crows and thank God they all died.
Yeah.
I can't. Whenever TV shows bring in cult stuff, it's that is the biggest TV hate for me. Always going back to Boy Meets World when they had that cult and they messed up Mr. Tucker.
Yeah.
Come on. Cults are the worst in general, but then when you bring them in TV, it just gets even worse. And speaking of as this final episode now, obviously we have the new season that'll be coming out this Sunday. The 6th, is that the 16th, I believe?
I believe so, yeah.
16th will be the first episode of this new season. Mike, have you seen any of the new previews for this new season?
I saw the newest preview of where it's Daenerys on the actual throne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a couple of the armies coming together fighting.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, it looks really cool. They had obviously they know how to put together trailers.
Oh yeah,
they had that awesome shot with Beric Dondarrion with the flaming sword.
Yeah,
just super awesome. And you have all these awesome things. David, let's go to you for a second. As someone who's only seen one episode and has some cursory knowledge, it's like what would you expect now coming from that episode, then leading into this new season? Give us some predictions just based on what you saw.
First of all, based on what I've heard, winter must be coming.
That's coming.
I'd like to see a war. Obviously, from what I gathered, it was all brewing up to one war, which I'm assuming is going to be. I don't know her name. the Dragon Lady. She's awesome.
Yep, Daenerys.
Daenerys.
Yeah, going up against Lena Headey's character.
Cersei.
Yeah, and it wasn't obviously until the end of the episode as well I realised that she was the queen, and she basically just murdered everybody.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good way to get yourself into queendom. Is you kill everyone with a giant green explosion fire, and then have your incestuous son jump out of a window.
Yeah, that bit. I was writing notes down, and I was just like, okay, that's kind of a bit, dramatic long shot. So I thought, what the fuck? He just jumped out the window.
And it's great, right? And did you get something I was talking with Mike before is that especially with a Game of Thrones newbie. I mean, we all know about Cersei and Jaime and about all this Game of Thrones knowledge. When Cersei's giving her speech to that woman who's cuffed down, and she mentions all that stuff that she's all proud of. What did you think of that speech, especially with the whole "I have sex with my brother because I like it," and we have children because we like it?
Yeah, that scene was a bit odd because obviously as soon as I saw Lena Headey, I just thought she looks badass. She's awesome, and then I kind of going through that scene, you kind of get a bit of context into the stuff that she's gone through, and it just gets more and more messed up.
Oh yeah. And oh man, if you think that's messed up, Mike, tell them to watch the other episodes.
Yeah.
But I thought the Walk of Dead was quite quite shocking at times. But
yeah. It's a great show. I mean, people. Obviously one of the biggest shows on TV. We will have another discussion about this after the finale. We might do one pre-finale. We might do one after the finale. Just going into it, which by the way, Damien, now that you're into it now, there are 10 episodes for every season, but now this season and last season, there's only 2 seasons left, and then now there's going to be 7 episodes for each season. And from what I heard, Mike, they're going to be like feature-length episodes. Is that correct?
Yep, that's what I've been hearing. Hour and a half, hour 40 minutes.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're really going to have to put some time and effort into catching up. These are not short episodes, and they're just getting longer and longer. So, David, what would you before we move on to our other topics here? Ask someone who just got into it. What would you tell to all the other people who haven't got into it? Like how would you explain it to them, and what would you suggest for them?
See, that's a very difficult one because obviously I want to go back and watch it, but I haven't really got into it, if you know what I mean. So I need to go back and get into the actual series. But from what I see, I've definitely just for content, pure sheer content, and the actors alone. All the actors I saw, I was just like, oh, that's Finn Jones, or that's who was it? And there was so many different people that I recognised. Oh, that was Mr. Filch from Harry Potter, and
oh yeah. Speaking of John Bradley, I believe his name is. Speaking of might not be. Speaking of him, let's go back to that Arya Stark scene for a quick second. Did you have any idea what was going on in that scene where it's one woman and then suddenly it's a totally different woman?
Yeah, definitely. The notes I wrote on that were quite funny. It was just, yeah, that was like, it was mainly a shocker for me because I've watched her in Doctor Who. So,
yeah, right.
Obviously, I knew she was in Game of Thrones beforehand, but yeah, that just kind of, that was definitely a what the fuck moment. I was just sitting there, I can't even explain it. It just kind of blew my mind. A lot of the twists in it, I did just sit there and think, they blow my mind now. They would be so much better if I'd watched the rest of the series first.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, and it's great because I know, Mike, you're probably like me on that scene. It's like either pretty quickly or at least before the reveal. It's like you figured out it's Arya.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So we're like,
I had no clue.
oh yes, this is payback, you bastards.
Yeah. But I look at it, I went, I guess I agree with him where it is more shocking if you haven't seen it yet. That is definitely a more shocking scene. if you have not seen any other episode before, you have no idea that's coming.
Yeah, so and that scene, it really just kind of helps you out. And especially really some of the parts of the episode, like the beginning part with the explosion, like we all know what that fire thing is, but most of them had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't have a clue. I just assumed it was an explosion. I did wonder why it was green.
Oh yeah, it plays a part in the whole series.
Yep.
All right, but let's move on here to our other topics. Really quickly, let's hold this one question to the end here. It looks like True Detective will be getting a third season. The first season was obviously very critically loved with Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. Second season, not so much, even though I really liked it. I actually liked Vince Vaughn and his character as opposed to some of the other people who didn't like that character or that season. But we just had word that Mahershala Ali, just off the Oscar-winning role for Moonlight, looks like he is in talks to lead the new season. Mike or Damien, what do you have? Either of you seen the show? Are you excited about this new season? What do you think?
I haven't watched any of the show yet. I like the fact that they've, the big actors in the series. They're all very good actors, so it does attract me to wanting to watch the series. Marshall Ali was brilliant. He was the best thing about Luke Cage.
Oh yeah,
and I would like to see Moonlight. That is on my to watch list. So yeah, it's probably another series that I need to go back and catch up on. I've got a list as long as my arm for the series that I'm trying to go through. So
absolutely. How about Mike? What do you have? You seen any of the seasons?
I saw the first season and I loved it, and I missed the first couple episodes of season 2, and I went, I just now have to wait. I just have to binge it now, and it's taking some time, but I'm gonna be binging it before season 3 hits.
Oh yeah, you definitely should. Like I said, I think it's definitely. I will say it's not as good as the first season. I think people were definitely putting a lot of pressure on it, and and when it doesn't happen, it doesn't live up to it. But if you take season 2 for what it is, I think it's a really good season. Some of the stuff, didn't work as well as it could have. But I actually, like I said, Vince Vaughn was revived. I actually liked Vince Vaughn's character, and I'm excited for Mahershala Ali. I mean, actually, one of the things we were talking about was the whole lack of diversity. And here we go. The first actor they're talking about is one of the biggest black actors in Hollywood right now, just coming off a big Oscar win. And also like Damien said, a huge villain role in Luke Cage that was really good. Spoilers for that. He's unfortunately gone too soon.
that was the worst part. I like the fact in the Daredevil series that they do change over villains halfway through, but they should have definitely kept him around for at least most part of the season. Yeah, no,
it was definitely unfortunate. I think it was just he's a busy guy. He's winning all these Oscars. I think he's in that new Battle Alita movie that Robert Rodriguez is doing off the manga, whatever it is.
Oh, Battle and Angelos and I don't even know.
I think he's in that, which is awesome. It looks pretty cool. But that's great. Let's move on. Let's get Wubba Lubba Dub Dub. We have confirmation. The Adventures of Rick and Morty. After, what has it been, almost 2 long years, we are finally getting our third season after that snippet of a premiere that dropped about a month or 2 months ago, I believe. July 30th, we are finally getting the third season of Rick and Morty. I know I'm excited. What about you guys? I mean, if you're not excited, just get off the channel right now.
I'm really excited for it. That's one show that I only had to watch an episode to fall in love with it. It's just my type of humor. It stuck with me completely. I haven't stopped watching it.
Like the minds of Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon from Community is like, they are this whole like grandfather grandson relationship, and everywhere they go with just the stuff they add in. And has everyone seen the premiere for the third season?
Unfortunately,
I haven't.
The most I've seen of Rick and Morty is the little snippet on the TV in the Justice League trailer.
Oh my God!
I've not seen any of it at all.
Damien, I mean, I give you a chance. I bring you over from London, and this is how you're offended. Don't even watch Rick and Morty. I mean, come on, Damien. What are you doing with your life over there? If kids and a wife is no excuse. Just because me and Mike have no kids and no wives, that does not mean we have all the time in the world.
Yeah, it has been recommended to me by a friend before, but like I said, I've got so much backlog of movies and series to watch. I haven't got around to it yet.
I mean, it is on Hulu, so Damien, as the host of Debating Dials, get on that show, especially for July 30th, because it is hilarious and it's funny. I know Mike probably recommends it just as highly.
Oh yes, completely, 100%. Watch it immediately.
I'll have to give it a go, and I'll let you know.
Oh, awesome! We'll do another rewatch when the finale hits, and we'll do this thing. And then you'll be like, "Oh, you were so right." And then last bit of news that actually lead into our last segment is what we do is I always have my guests give us a show that they think people should be watching, whether they've already seen it, whether they're currently watching it. And this actually is a little bit of sad news for me, is I'm a big fan of the Carmichael Show on NBC, which the comedian Jared Carmichael, which you might know from Neighbors, started back as in their third season this summer. Unfortunately, it is now the final season, as Jared Carmichael has now left the show. And they have confirmed that he is gone. This third season will be the last. It is a great show. They had it on during the summer months of NBC. Really has a great take on black culture in America. Stars David Allen Greer as his father, Loretta Devine, Little Rel Howery, Tiffany Haddish. It's just a great show. It has some great commentary that he really brings a unique perspective with his comedy and with his observations, which it's only 3 seasons. There's some really short seasons as well. I recommend everyone to go watch on the Carmichael Show. It's a great show that unfortunately ended a little too soon, and unfortunately didn't get enough play that it should have, especially being on during the summer. Mike, what is your show that you're recommending to people that they should watch?
Oh, definitely Ash vs. Evil Dead. If you love any of the Evil Dead movies, or especially Army of Darkness, you will love this show. It is amazing. It's funny. It brings the gore. It brings the comedy. It brings everything those movies bring.
Okay, and what channel does that come on?
Starz Network, actually.
Okay. Awesome.
So paid network, yeah.
Do you know what season it's going into?
Season 3.
Okay, great. Oh, yeah. Yep. So, and
very short episodes. They're only 10 episodes, I believe.
And then is it a half-hour show or an hour?
A half hour.
Oh, so there you go. Perfect show to binge. All right, and Damien, what's your show that you think people should watch?
Before I go to the show that I think people should watch, there's 2 episodes of a series that I think are the best episodes that I've seen in a long time, which are episode 4. I think it's 4 and 5 or 5 and 6 of the Nearest Prison Break series. That show is just awesome.
Okay.
But the show that I recommend is Preacher. For me, I love the graphic novels. Mm-hmm. They were some of my favorite graphic novels. It started off with an angel and a demon having sex and having this thing called Genesis go into a preacher. He has the word of God, and then he goes to hunt down and find God. And that is just, for me, it's just one of the most mind-blowing premises that I've ever read. So I watched the first series. It was awesome. It's individually the episodes are brilliant, whereas as a long full series, it doesn't kind of go together. But I've watched the first 2 episodes of series 2, and I'm really excited where it's going and how it's going. And it's definitely, there's some funny moments. It's definitely very stylized and it's very weird, but it's an awesome series.
Oh, absolutely. I can back you up. I saw the first season, haven't gotten into the second season yet, but everything you said was spot on. Just a great show that people should watch. And it comes on AMC. The second season just started, I believe. I think it's on its 3rd or 4th episode now.
It's on episode 3. I think episode 4 is coming out next week.
Okay, great. Yeah, people should definitely get on that show. 3 great shows with Preacher, Ash vs. Evil Dead, and the Carmichael Show, and then actually kind of a curveball there with Prison Break is. I have seen the first 2 or 3 seasons of the original of the first iteration. Didn't catch the end of it, and but it's always great to hear those, especially that Prison Break coming back after what's it been, like 5 or 6 years? It's been off the air or something like that.
I think it was 8 years. It was off the air.
Oh, wow, yeah. So
It's been off for quite a while.
I didn't particularly like the way that it ended, but I like the fact they managed to come up with a new series and they did it quite plausibly as well.
Great, yeah. So that is a great recommendation there. We got some great recommendations. Our viewers out there should definitely pick up on these, and please comment on in the views below what you think we should be watching. And if you want to talk about a show, please let me know. We will be talking about more shows in the future. We will be talking about Preacher. We're talking about Game of Thrones, Rick and Morty. This Is Us, Flash, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We will be talking about all the shows around, just bringing them all up, and the news of the day. Before we leave, Damien, what do you want to plug about yourself? What do you want to tell people?
I'm me. I'm individual. No, I just for me, this is a new thing. Something I'd like to kind of continue. Maybe do my own little show one day, because I do like to watch a lot of stuff and review a lot of stuff. I read a lot of comic books. For me, I'm a big comic book person. And yeah, that's about it. I'm just a geek.
All right. And unfortunately, ladies, he is married, so he's off the market. I'm sorry. Well, we'll try and just get single people on here for the future. But but Damien, please come let us know when you have your own thing going, and we'll be sure to put that. We'll be sure to put that in there for people can go see. Whenever you get that ready, we'll be happy to plug you up. Mike, what do you got to plug?
I actually have a short film that's going to be coming out at the end of this year. So if you follow me on Twitter at Mike Hamley 1987, there'll be all the updates on there.
Awesome. Does it have a title?
Yes, it's a Cold Water Pact.
Awesome. So be sure to check that out with follow him on Twitter and be looking out for that short film. You said at the end of the year?
At the end of the year, yeah.
Awesome. And we'll definitely have you back on when it comes out so we can get you plugging it right there as well.
Definitely.
Awesome. My name is Greg Weinstein. You can follow me on Debating the Dials here on YouTube. We'll be putting it every week with Take 3 Productions. Please follow them as well. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell us all you want about TV. Let me know if you want to be a guest host, if you want to help out with moderate. We're always looking for more people. And as in the words of the A-Team, I love it when a show comes together. Thank you, and have a great day, everyone.